Oh, okay, so I'm in the blue, she's in the black. Great. Okay,
Do you want to just point when you want me to start?
sure. Darcy, I'm going to let you take it away.
Is John ready?
Oh, okay.
One last technical thing.
I can't see his
Can you,
thumbs.
I know I can't see through the thing.
Okay. Can you like make some flares or something back there? That's probably a health hazard.
Flashlight or something. All right, so we're going to go ahead and call the Board of Adjustment meeting to order for Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. And we're going to do the roll call. Board Member Zambito is present. Board Member Hamilton is present. Board Member Hedges is present. Not president, you're present. Board Member Clymer is present, and Board Member Kish is present. And Board Member Booth and Board Member Wang are absent, but we do have a quorum. At this time, a vote will need to be taken to excuse the members unable to attend due to extenuating waiting circumstances. Can I have a motion and second to excuse Board Member Wang and Board Member Booth from tonight's meeting?
I motion that they be excused.
So the, our Board Member Hedges did the motion, and second was Board Member Clymer. I don't know why I did that. Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. So then the next item is to elect a chair and vice chair for the committee. And although it is already written in the rules, we want to just go ahead and formalize it by actually doing a vote. So can I have a motion and a second to have someone be the chair? And part of that motion will have to say, I move to have so-and-so be the chair.
I move that Jason Kish is going to be the chair.
I second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to have Board Member Kish be the chair. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Since you're now the chair, I think you could probably do the vice chair.
Okay. I need a motion and a second for Vice Chairman Clymer to be voted vice chair.
I motion.
I second.
I have a motion by Board Member Hegedus and a second by Board Member Zambito. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Okay. Now I take over? Okay.
It's all yours.
Now is the time for citizens who would like to address the Board of Adjustment on any non-agenda item. Seeing none, are there any speaker cards?
No chair.
Anybody in the audience like to speak on this? I mean, come on. All right. All right. Item number 2 is a presentation by Deputy Director Planning Katie Wilkin on the Board of Adjustment rules and responsibilities. Take it away.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. This is going to be brief because we do not have the formal rules of procedure for you ready to adopt. Just so you know, staff is working to revise the rules of procedure since we did combine not combine, but are using the same body for the Planning and Zoning Commission and Board of Adjustment. We're working on updates to the rules of procedure for both bodies. And so then we'll bring those separately to the Planning and Zoning Commission and then to the Board of Adjustment for action. Until we, and those will go into more details about votes and all the different rules of procedure. Until that time, we simply use the zoning ordinance rules, which don't get into specifics. We also generally use Robert's Rules of Order to conduct our meetings. So it is not a problem that we don't quite have those yet for you. The thing I did want to mention is we did want to call this meeting to order. We do have an application in, which we're not going to discuss tonight, which we didn't, because we did not advertise, but we do think that there will be a formal Board of Adjustment meeting in the near future to discuss a variance case. But the Board of Adjustment is a different type of body. There are responsibilities that are quasi-judicial. The Board of Adjustment does not make recommendations to the City Council, so when you're acting as the Board of Adjustment, your decisions will be final. There are different appeal procedures and court procedures that can go on after, but you are not a recommendation body when you are acting as the board. You are the final decision maker. You also notice, just so you, in case you're curious, there's two primary duties for the Board of Adjustment. One is to hear requests for variance to the zoning ordinance. The other is to hear appeals of decisions of the zoning administrator. Christopher Baker is the zoning administrator, and his staff acts on his behalf. We become his designee when we make decisions. Sometimes people want to appeal an interpretation of the zoning ordinance that staff has made. And so because Alyssa is part of our staff, we were concerned about a conflict of interest of our secretary being a staff member who's kind of part of that zoning administrator or their designee. And so we have requested that the city clerk's office serve as our secretary for the Board of Adjustment so that there's more impartiality in the procedures of the Board of Adjustment. So that really is all I have for you tonight. And again, as I said, we think we have a case coming up. We would hold that Board of Adjustment meeting for that case, kind of like we did tonight, just after the regular Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. And then we hope to have the full rules of procedure for you to review and act on in the future.
It was good to go through this, just to have like
We
the
just wanted to
logistics out of
officially
the way.
establish the body because we hadn't officially had a meeting yet. So here it is.
You get an extra
You're the Board of
stipend when they
Adjustment.
speak.
Absolutely, we double our current stipend. Are there any information items?
Mr. Chairman, if I can just dovetail on what Katie had mentioned, the Board of Adjustment is actually a very powerful entity, as Katie alluded to, because you make the final decisions on behalf of the city as to granting variances and things of this nature. It's actually not in Goodyear, it's not a very, it's not used very often, but in most jurisdictions and other places throughout the country, it's a very powerful board and actually probably meets more frequently than the council does to consider things. Wow. And then, as our city attorney team can say, if you look at case law and like planning and zoning and things of that nature, you know, it may stack up like this, but case law associated with Board of Adjustment cases nationwide dwarfs zoning cases, just because it has to do with individual people really trying to do individual things on their individual property and the application of the zoning ordinance to their individual lot. So it really is a very powerful board, and we appreciate you stepping up to serve in this capacity. Again, in Goodyear, it hasn't been utilized very often, but it probably will be as we continue to get built out and have more and more population. It probably will be used on a more frequent basis. I think in the nearly 8 years I've been here, we've had one Board of Adjustment case. So that just kind of tells you how frequently that we meet. But because it is such a powerful board and you do sit in a quasi-judicial capacity, the thought process in going and making those decisions is a little bit different than in your normal planning commission capacity. And Katie and I were talking about it a little bit. We're going to find some training and send it out to you. I'm sure that APA, American Planning Association, has some generalized training because obviously each state has different statutes and things of that nature, but some just general training and awareness about the duties and obligations of the Board of Adjustment, because there is a lot of similarities across the country.
I imagine, there's a lot more discussion amongst us when something comes up. And we're
There can
discussing
be.
like whether or not and it should be, because it feels very much more, okay.
And generally what happens is you get a whole lot of public interest because it's typically a person wanting to do a project at their home or something of that nature, or at their business. And when we give notice to the people within, what is it, Katie, 500 feet, which then is all your neighbors. So you oftentimes get a lot of public interest as well.
Well, I would say that it's a testimony to how hard you guys work and how well you guys do your job that we don't have as many. So
Sure.
Kudos to you.
And so anyway, just wanted to point out that we are aware of there's a need of some training there, and we'll find that for you.
Thank you.
Yep.
At this time, there is not a set date for the next Board of Adjustment meeting. There being no further business to discuss, this meeting is adjourned.